Awesome. Amazing. Okay. Cool. Let me just make sure you guys can hear me. Hello. Hey, Flower. Hey, Stacy. Welcome. So glad to have you. Um, okay. Arise, Flower, and Stacy, can you guys hear me? Hey. Awesome. Hey, Heather. Hey, Denise. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Allison. Hey, Jane. Hope, love, and sunshine. Always great to see your name. Hey, Danny. Hey, Brooke. Awesome. Thanks for letting me know, Flower. And manifesting generator 111 says, I'm finally made it to alive. Woohoo. Hey, Mystic Soul. Great to have you. Awesome. Well, I'm super pumped to be here with you guys today. I figured I would jump on and do a little preview of what the end of the year is going to look like, a little update, because have we had some energies? It has been, wow, like the energy of this moment and, what all we are doing has been wild. So I'm going to put a little poll in the chat. I'm curious if you're feeling pressured, stressed, like everything must change. I'm curious if you're feeling this energy, because this energy there's good reason for it. I've been talking about this, privately with some of the folks who, step into readings with me. I've been speaking about it. Hey, Sarah, great to see you over here. I've been speaking about it with folks who, some of my friends, they've emailed and they've been like, can you look at my chart? What the hell is going on? Why do I feel all out of sorts? All kinds of like, I have to do everything now. I have to change now. It's been exhilarating. Yeah, exhilarating and exciting, Mystic Soul. I get it. My Kundalini is going nuts. I totally understand. Allison says, I'm not, but I see it in others around me. Old things I thought I healed are coming up, Brooklyn says. Right on. Yeah, there's really, really, really good reason for that. And I'm going to get into some of that now. I want to start by getting into the energy that brought us into this moment. I want to get into the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse energy that we just had. After I do the eclipse energy, I'm going to talk about this Mars retrograde so that you guys know what to expect as divine counterparts and, people who are light workers, what you're seeing. Like Allison said, I'm not feeling this kind of frenetic energy, but I know a lot of people are. And so I want to give you guys a heads up on how to deal with that and what you're seeing in the people around you. I want to talk about this union window that we're in the middle of. Many of you guys who are subscribers to my channel, you've heard me talk about this union window energy that's creating a dramatic amount of pull between divine counterparts and pulling you toward your connection. And then after I talk about that, I'm going to get into what we've been experiencing, what we can expect to experience in 2023. I was just over on Allie's channel. For those of you who are familiar with Allie's Tarot, she's a good friend of mine, super sweet and kind. She hosted me to talk about some of this energy because it has been really frenetic for so many people. So I'm going to talk about this energy and why and how it's related to 2023. And then I'm going to give you guys an opportunity if you'd like to enroll in Star School so that you can be able to enter into moments like this, which I call a pressure cooker, a crucible, It's these moments of extreme astrological pressure to transform, grow, and change. I'm going to give you a chance to enter and join me in Star School. So if you'd like to know how to leverage these kinds of energies, you can do so with maximal support, maximal clarity, and minimal drama. Okay, so just checking back here on the poll, I see a lot of you guys have shared that there has been a lot of pressure in the energy. You guys should, if you can now see the poll in the chat. Denise says it's been beautiful for her. Marilyn says she was so scared about applying for another job, and I finally did today. Yes, Marilyn, that's exactly how to use this. Good. Mary Jo says, I saw a meme today. My brain is trying to kill me for sure. The thoughts have been crazy. Yes, Mary Jo, there's very good reason for that. Tina says she's stressed about DM. I totally understand. There's good reason for all of these energies, and I want to go ahead and give you the insight about that now. So for those of you who have been here and you've hung out with me, one of the things we've been talking about is this eclipse energy and what's been going on with the eclipses, because these eclipses have brought a significant amount of pressure to all of our lives and have been demanding change. If you watched the Taurus full moon update for the lunar eclipse that we just had on November 8th, so this was last week, if you just watched that, you recall that I talked about a need for all of us during this period of time where we're experiencing a need to confront our shadow in order to take advantage of an opportunity to do something new. And this energy has been upon us since last year. And it's been upon us specifically because we have had a series of astrological changes. Hang on, I'm trying to switch up my chart a little bit. Okay, I want to bring this back into 2022. There we go. So we can see the eclipse energy on November 8th. We just came through this. But the energy is still quite active. You can see our eclipse here. Here's the moon at 15 degrees Taurus. Here's the sun at 16 degrees Scorpio. The Taurus Scorpio eclipse cycle has been a dramatic period of time that has asked all of us to move into what gives us life and move away from what makes us feel less than ourselves. Move away from fear, move away from things that we feel ashamed of, move away from things that we regret, and move away from things that are Scorpio shadow that we feel addicted to, manipulative about, and controlling around. These are all shadow energies of Scorpio. Because the South Node, which represents what we're moving away from collectively, is transiting through Scorpio, what's happening is we're all being asked to take up and get a brand new thing by letting go of something that hasn't been working, has not served us, has actually undermined us first. In order to get the new, we have to let go of the hand of the old. And this has been a building energy. And by building, I mean the pressure for this has ratcheted up since last year. We have had Saturn and Uranus at a 90-degree angle to one another in fixed signs. Now, I love my fixed signs because fixed signs, Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Leo, you guys bring to all of us an incredible amount of stability, continuity, stick-to-itiveness. If we were to look up the word commitment in the dictionary, we'd see all the faces of the Aquariuses, the Leos, the Taurus, and the Scorpios. You guys understand follow through like nobody's business. The challenge with fixed energy, though, is that when it's time to change, the shadow side is you're the least willing to do it. And so this Uranus movement through Taurus, Uranus is the hand of divine change. Uranus is the quantum leap into the new and the next. It's the transformative ride into our higher self. And Saturn, the demander of integrity and wholeness. If it's not what's best for us, it's got to go. Saturn and Uranus, in this aspect of tension to one another, have been forcing us all, not just the fixed signs, to change things of our lives that have been fixed. So Uranus and Taurus, structures of our life. Taurus, earth sign. Saturn and Aquarius, mindsets of our lives. Aquarius, air sign. Earth represents structure. Air represents thoughts and thought forms. Saturn and Uranus are like, you cannot afford to walk into 2023 dragging the same thoughts, the same thinking, the same mindset that you have had up until this point. It's not going to work anymore. And Uranus has been over here saying, and because of this, all the structures of your life that you have created up until now, everything that came out of your old thinking, your old mindsets, it's all got to go. You need to evolve, and this is the moment of your evolution. And the reason why, as we wind this year down, it's feeling like, damn, I have to do this. And your mind has been going in your brain and saying, I'm late. I got to figure this out. I'm late. Put it in the chat. Let me know if your brain has been putting pressure on you to figure this out. The pressure is here because the Saturn and Uranus have been building in this energy since 2021. They had their first square, I believe, in February, March of 2021, but they have met this exact 90-degree angle 6 times. This is the last of 6. And because there has been this push to do a new thing, if there has been procrastination at this moment, as we get to the last square, there's this internal pressure that says it's now or never, shit or get off the pot, make it happen. Please do not do do the old thing in a new cycle. Now, Saturn and Uranus do not square very often. It takes Saturn, first of all, it takes Uranus 84 years to get around the wheel. It takes Saturn 32 years to get around the wheel. So when Saturn and Uranus lock into a 90-degree angle, they demand our lives transform. Okay. And so what we have right now is one of these transformative pathways that can get us onto a brand new timeline. Now, for those of you that have been long-term subscribers of the channel, you know that North Node, direction of our growth here, that's that little horseshoe shape. And Uranus here, hand of the divine and divine change, they've been dancing together for the entirety of this year, trying to move us into new lessons, new pathways, new growth processes, take us into the new. The challenge with the North Node and Uranus meeting up in Scorpio is that, or not Scorpio, but Aquarius, of all the signs, that is like, nah, I'm good. I really like what feels good and what's comfortable. Taurus is the one that likes change the least. If there's any sign that is the poster child for, I don't need a new couch, even though my cat has dug holes into this one and I've had it since childhood and it has a big bowl in the center. If there's any sign that will say, no, I like the old couch because it feels good, it's Taurus. And so because we've got this demand for new in the sign in our charts, and all of us have Taurus somewhere, because we've got this demand for the new in the sign in our charts that deals with our attachments, our comfort zone. This is an extraordinarily confronting energy in at least one area of life for everyone. So I'm curious if you guys are willing to kind of share in the chat. I'll ask a new poll. I'm really curious. Where is new being demanded of you at this time? I'm curious if you're being demanded to move into the new in terms of love and relationship, if it's in terms of work and money, if it's in terms of your family dynamics and patterns, or home and where you live. Or if it's in the world of friendships. I'm curious if it's there or if it's in some other area. Go ahead and you can, I put it in the poll, I put it there, but you can put it in the chat too. I created a poll, you can put it in the chat. Health, yes. I get that. I get that. Health and love, yes. Being demanded to do a new doggone thing. You are not going to be able to walk into 2023 doing what you've been doing for the last decade. There is a push for change. Intimate and professional spaces, Alejandro says. For me, it's home and marriage, Tina says. Angel says, all of the above. Totally get it. Red Chariot says family. Ancestral healing, Victoria says, yeah, that's something that can happen too. Attachment styles, love and more money, Wild Zen says, new in terms of my spiritual business and in friendships, romantic relationship and mindset. Totally, Mary Jo. Yeah. And so where there has been, like I said, procrastination, delay, dilly-dallying, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, 1 foot in the new, 1 foot in the old, going back and forth, this Mars retrograde that we're all experiencing now. So this is Mars here. And you can see the little RX sign for retrograde. This Mars retrograde, Mars marched forward. Now it's moving backwards, and then it's going to march forward again. This Mars retrograde that's happening while all of this demand for new is unfolding. This Mars retrograde is saying, you got one last chance to have a look, to explore, and to answer the question, what do you need to do to get on a new timeline? And the real question, like my secret kind of name for this season has been that it's been a season, this eclipse season, it's been a season of bright lights and hard truths. This is the season where we would have really found out where our shit is stinky, and where we need to deal with that so that we can stop pointing the finger elsewhere and outside of us and make the change within us to get new results, to get a new path, to get a new process. And this is in part why it feels so pressureful, because we've got Uranus and Saturn here demanding new. The other thing that's demanding new is Pluto and Scorpio. Or Pluto and Capricorn. We've had a 14-year transit of Pluto where power sits in the chart in the sign of Capricorn. And as we get into the early part of 2023, we get Pluto moving into Aquarius. The last time Pluto shifted signs within 30 days, 90 days, we had the fallout of the 2008 housing collapse here in the United States that had worldwide global economic consequences. Pluto is now going to move into a brand new sign, and with it, it's going to take its sense of power. Now, this actually gives me a lot of hope. Pluto represents power. In Capricorn, it brought power to institutions and structures. It brought power to the old guard. It brought power to what's traditional, and it strengthened those things during this time. We saw the expansion of government and government being able to do certain things it's never done before. We saw the expansion of institutions, that things, different institutions that previously didn't have that kind of reach, in the medical world and the food world, economically speaking. We saw the expansion of institutions in a lot of ways. Pluto is going to leave the sign of tradition and institutions and take its power with it and move it into the sign of Aquarius. This is exciting because Aquarius is the sign of the people. It's the sign of revolution and change. It's the sign of technology. It's the sign of the new and the next. And as Pluto gets into Aquarius, we're going to see these aspects of our collective experience strengthen and expand. And this is going to provide for all of us an opportunity to step into the new. So Pluto moving into a new sign, BFD, huge deal. Uranus and Saturn doing their square thing that they rarely do, BFD, huge deal. We've got Jupiter closing out a 12-year cycle and moving into the first sign of the zodiac. Once again, that's Aries, closing out that 12-year cycle as it jumps into Aries in 2023. This is also going to be new because it hasn't been in Aries for 12 years. There's a lot of new things going on here, a lot of new. In our lives and in our collective, there is a new thing happening. We've got the North Node backing into Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, bringing a new chapter in, closing out an old one. And so with all of this new, this is why it feels at this particular moment, our lives must change. We are part of the cosmos that God created. We are part of God's system of energy and motion. And as these planets do their new things, we ourselves are demanded to do a new thing too, because we're all connected, all is one. So there's some bittersweet energy to this. For some people, there's some saying goodbye to certain things. There is an ending to certain chapters. There's a completion to certain ways we've thought, and therefore certain ways we've acted. 144 in the chat as I say this. And there's an opportunity within this to basically jump on a brand new timeline to get a whole new set of results, outcomes, and experiences, even if you have to deal with the same people. This is an opportunity to get into a parallel universe, an alternate reality where the things that you want exist, so you can get off of the cycles that have been repeating for the last decade. Let me know in the chat, are you ready for something new? Who's ready for new? I would love to know who is ready for new. And in which area of life? Are you ready for something new when it comes to work and money? Are you ready for something new when it comes to love and relationship? Even if it's not a new person, it could just be a new kind of way of dating, mating, and relating. Are you ready for something new when it comes to home and family? In what area are you looking for a change? Are you ready for something new? Silvana wants new in love and money. Mixed Soul says, and twin flame and everything, me. Angie says, always, I'm always ready for new. You must be a cardinal sign or have a lot of cardinal energy in your chart. Chuckster says, who knew me? Who this? Yes, all of it. Totally new life. Mary Jo says. Jennifer says, me, everything. Coco says, stability and love. Carol's ready. Just name it. She's been in a holding pattern. Yeah. Ready for a new cycle, Miss Grace says, and her twin connection. Coleman Ground says, ready and waiting, money and career, first grandbaby due in May 23rd. Hey, happy grandmotherversary there. Flower wants a new relationship with self. Totally get it. Feeling this big time. I'm so ready for new. Yes, Allison. All right. So now this is where we get a little bit meta, guys. We're going to talk about quantum leaps. We're going to talk about moving onto a new pathway. And I'm going to bring you into how this new thing goes down, how we get onto a new timeline, how we get out of repeating cycles at this moment. Sometimes new is just thrown on us and we don't have a choice. Will there be some of that as these planets do what they've been doing? Yes. But the majority of it, even though we're entering into a new cycle, God, the universe, respects us enough to give us the choice as divine creator beings incarnate with that God spark in us to do what, creators do. It respects us enough to give us the choice of, listen, I'm opening a new chapter, but if you're really comfortable in the chapter you're in, you can keep whatever parts you want. And not only can you keep whatever parts you want, you can also repeat any lesson that was fun for you by simply responding to the new energy with your old thoughts and your old behaviors. If you just respond to the new energy with your old thoughts and your old behaviors, you can absolutely have more of what you've already had, which is perfect. If you've got a marriage that's working, if you've got a partner that you love, if you've got a job you absolutely adore, don't change anything. It will not change. But if you've got some stuff that you're like, yeah, okay, I cannot continue to be the third wheel in somebody else's relationship anymore. I cannot continue to, kind of be the starving artist anymore. I have lived out my time as the underpaid and overworked, philanthropic person. I'm over that. If you are done with a pattern, there is a way to get on a new timeline. And I'm going to reveal that now. And it's through the energy of this Mars retrograde. Yes. Straw and ham sandwich says hard pass. I get it. I totally get it. There's a lot of us who are a hard pass on the old, and for very good reason. And some of you have some things where it's like, yeah, I actually like what I've got. So this is how you keep it. And for those of you who are done with what you've got, this is how you get something new. I'm gonna go into, some of you guys saw my forgiveness series, and in one of those videos in the forgiveness series, I drew you guys some Picasso level art. I gave you guys some incredible detailed stick figure drawings. I gave y'all my best work with my trackpad and my Zoom tools. We're going to bust that out again. So many of you guys really have come into the conversation around time and space being not what we think it is. We understand time isn't linear, that there are, and we're starting to find out as scientists work through the physics of this at CERN, we're starting to find out that parallel universes could in fact be a real thing, which means that parallel timelines are in fact a real thing, which means in fact that there could be more than one you. Ooh, now we're really going down the rabbit hole. But for those of you who want to keep it a bit lighter, this means in fact that what you've got doesn't have to be what you get. You can get a new thing. And so those who have been on this path recognize that time works fractalized. Cycles repeat through fractalized patterns. And so I'm going to draw you my best fractal right now. And this is how it looks, where there are these loops where things kind of ebb and flow, crest and repeat. And then we come back to where we started. You guys like my fractal? It is, I know, that's like Picasso, chef's kiss. It's the best fractal you've ever seen on a YouTube channel, Zoom room, whiteboard. Gotta say, shout out to my talents, shout out to my fingers. Y'all are doing it tonight. So this is us moving along the timeline, and just now we're coming to the close. We're coming to the part where we jump into the beginning of a cycle again. And this part here, this is the crucial part. This part where what we've got is the opportunity to do a new thing. This is where we stand right now in time space, is the closing of a cycle based on everything I just laid out for you. Now, you have the opportunity, if you're not digging the thing that you've got going on, You have the opportunity to get something new. And this is how you do it. As you close this cycle, instead of going right back into the old cycle with a new color like I'm doing here, instead of doing that, you have to use Mars's energy, Mars retrograde. Mars is the energy of action, ambition, decisive action. It's the energy of drive and movement forward. It's the energy of momentum. You can leverage Mars's energy to, instead of going back into the old cycle, jump yourself out here to a new fractal, a new energy, a new timeline with new behaviors, new choices, new people, new opportunities. All you have to do is leverage the Martian energy of new behaviors, because Mars represents actions, choices, behaviors in its neutral state. So we're at a closing point, and the choice really is ours. Do we like what we've got? Do we want to do a new thing? In order to jump on the new timeline, we have to leverage behaviors to get to the new. Let's look at this Mars retrograde astrologically. Let me break it down from the perspective of the chart. Okay. So here's Mars hanging out here in the sign of Gemini. Gemini represents choices. It is either the both and or the either or. Gemini shows us where there's two. In other words, there's a timeline split here. With the Gemini energy, we get the option, because there's two, to go direction A or direction B. The way we access the choice is through our behaviors and actions, through Mars's energy. Mars is our own choices to do a new thing, to get a thing we've never gotten before. I've always said this to clients as a coach. If you want something new, you got to be willing to do something you've never done before to get it. If you're happy with how it is, then just keep repeating what you've got. But to get something you've never got, you got to do something you've never done. And this energy here has been putting pressure on us. Saturn-Uranus square, the integrity maker and the change maker, have been saying, do a new damn thing since last year. They've been trying to shove us in that direction since last year. Now we're at the end of their squares, and the universe is looking at us like, tick-tock, babies, time's up, pencils down. Have you done a new thing yet? You've got minutes left on this test to wrap it up. What are you going to choose? Okay. And so the way you signal to the universe, I'm ready for my new timeline. I put my hand up. I'm ready. Show me my new timeline, is in the face of the old energy, whether that's, an ex showing up and doing things the ex always does. In the face of the boss that at the job that you don't like doing the thing they always do. Or whether it's your mom or your dad or your kid doing the thing that they always do. In the face of life, doing life things, the things that life does, the way to get the new is to be able to respond in a way that you've never responded before. Where you would shut down, this is your chance to open up. Where you would stay and stick it out, this is your chance to quit. Where you would quit, this is your chance to stick it out, to say, I don't even know what sticking it out would look like, but I'm willing to try it because I've never done it before and I want something new. If you've been the kind of person who, because this is a leave no stone unturned energy, if you've been on a decades-long battle with weight or health, if there's something you've never done before that you need to try in order to lose the weight or regain your health, this is the time to do the new thing. If you've refused to go to therapy, this is the time to go to therapy. If you've, People have told you you need to learn how to meditate, and you've put it off and put it off and put it off. You want a new timeline? You better sit down, get a nap, meditate. Whatever it is for you. You don't take vitamins, but you know you need some, go get some. You need to be on antidepressants, but you've refused, go get on them. This is your moment to signal, I'm so ready for a new thing. I'm willing to do a new thing. Do not put me on that old timeline, universe. I'm over it. I'm done. See how done I am? I'm doing shit I ain't never done before. Okay. This is how you work with it. Mars choices, Gemini, curiosity, exploration, new thought forms, communication. Gemini is the curious, it's the open-ended. So if you want to signal to the universe that you really are ready for new, you got to put your money where your mouth is during this transit. That's how this energy works. That's how you jump timelines with this particular energy. You cannot expect something new doing the things you've always done. And that's why there's a choice energy to this. This Gemini energy represents choice. You get the choice as a powerful, divine creator being incarnate to go either path. Red pill, blue pill, what's it going to be? You get the choice, but you got to do something new to get something new. Okay. So that's how this energy works at this time. I see a lot of you guys. Let me see this poll here. What were the results? It's going to be more than a decade. Strawn ham sandwich. It's going to be a while. People seem like they're ready for new in love and relationship and work and money mostly. I love that. Angel Moon, baby. How do we actually do this? Pick an area of life and do something you've never done. That's how you do it. Now, the Mars retrograde, I want to give you guys a timeline for this because we're at the tail end of this. This energy began in like February, March 2021. We're at the end of it. We're at the end of this cycle. We've got 2 eclipses left in Taurus and Scorpio with this life-changing energy. And then we've only got the Mars retrograde that's going to get us there. So Mars retrograde started on October 30th. So just a week ago. So we got into the beginning of this energy. The bright lights, hard truths energy, that began as we got into this particular eclipse cycle, 60 days, 2 months prior to October 28th. So about September. So when we got into this eclipse cycle, this energy started to heat up. You started to feel the heat come in September, late September, early October. Now here we are. Mars retrograde is turning the heat up even more. Saturn-Uranus last square. Heat. Now we're at a boil. We're not even at a simmer anymore. Mars retrograde continues until January 12th. So Mars got out here, turned back, and then it's going to turn back again. At this point, when it turns back on January 12th to march forward again, that's going to be the beginning of the end of this series. Okay? Mars will go forward and Mars will stay in Gemini until about March. Once it gets out of Gemini, okay, now we're really in the final minutes of the test. And then what we have is the last 2 eclipses on the Taurus and Scorpio axis, and this unfolds in April and May of 2023. Okay, so we've got this little bit of time. We've had more than 16 months already, but we've got this final 6 months to just get on the new timeline already. Just do a new thing. Okay. So all of that to say, if it's felt pressureful, it's likely because there's been some level of procrastination. If it's felt smooth, it's likely because there has been embrace of this change as of last year. Okay. So I don't know what area of life it's going to be for you, but you have already, like your mind has already been gnawing on this, chewing on this bone like a dog. trying to get you to change since last year, you would know at this time where this is at. Blessing in disguise, Susan, there's blessings all around this. Getting on a new timeline, like I said at the beginning of this, it can be tricky because the one thing that Taurus, where the North Node and Uranus sit, and we all have Taurus in our chart somewhere, the one thing Taurus does not like to do is change. Its blessing and gift to all of us is its continuity. That's what Taurus is gifted at, is continuity in any circumstance. But now this is the moment when Taurus is being asked to change regardless of how we feel about it. And so, yes, it's change. Yes, there can be some grief with this. Yes, there's a lot of attachment we're confronted with in terms of this energy. I talked about that in the last lunar update. If you want to go deeper into that message, you can find that here on the channel. But this is essentially what we're being asked to do. No, Stacy, it's not best when it started on that exact date. It's best when you start it. And now is always a good time. Okay. So, my lovelies, how do you deal with this? And what's coming next? Is there any good news on the horizon? The answer is yes. There's incredibly good news on the horizon. I'm going to get into some really great dates around love and money in a moment here. I want to share these things with you so that you have the opportunity to know what you can look forward to in the new year. And I'm also going to give you an opportunity. If you like studying astrology, a lot of you guys have been subscribed to this channel. You've been curious about Star School with me. You've been curious about how to study with me. I'm going to give you an opportunity to study Star School with me this year at this time. I'm going to give you a chance to do that so you can learn how to see and predict and know these things for yourself so that you don't have to be dependent on me or any other person to help you understand what's happening in your life. If you're already curious about that, I do have something special in the way of Star School options for you. I've got something called the Star School Scholar Package. This is how you can study with me and learn everything that I know and get basically every astrology thing that I've ever taught. You can study with me in the Star School Scholar Package. I'm going to link that in the chat right now. There you go. But for those of you who, may want to ease into this, I've got some options for that as well. But let's go ahead and start. I want to give you guys something to look forward to because, wow, this energy has just been, can I get an amen for like life-changing in the chat? It's been life-changing for all of us in just about every way. And I really want you guys to have a way to work with this that gives you some freedom. All right. So I want you guys to write these dates down. And these are like first 4 months of the year, the first quarter. There are some really good dates for love and money. But this is, again, these things are coming after a season of making significant changes. There's no accident to this. No accidents at all. The significant changes happen before the really juicy, yummy dates in love and money. There's a reason for that. And it's because in order to get the good stuff, we have to be willing to let go of the stuff that just no longer works for us. You get it? You see how this works? You want something good, you got to let go of the bad stuff. This is how this is working. So the first really yummy date that I like seeing is January 9th. We are going to have Venus trine Mars on that date. So I'm just going to go to that date now and the transits. So if you guys are familiar with my channel, you know that I'll look at the dates. Venus trine Mars. Let's go ahead and Here's Mars. Mars is still retrograde in Gemini at that point, but we've got Venus direct in Aquarius. This is going to bring some fresh new ideas when it comes to love and money, some fresh new conversations when it comes to love and money. It's going to give us some passion and some fortitude to drive forward when it comes to love and money. This is very, very, very good love and money energy, and that's January 9th. You'll be able to feel it all of January. But also in January, we have also got on January 14th, so that's less than a week later, that first January is a really good month. We have got Venus square Uranus. And so here is Venus still in Aquarius, and there we've got Uranus in Taurus, and this square gives us the opportunity. It's also square the nodal axis. This square gives us an opportunity to make some much needed changes in love and money. Okay. The much needed changes in love and money are our opportunity to move quantum leap. Remember, Aquarius is the quantum. It's the next, it's the new. Uranus is its ruling planet. Uranus is out here in Taurus, the sign that governs money. If you've been trying to make money moves, money changes, if you've been trying to make investments or ask for a raise or launch a business that gets new energy, new money, new attention, January is the perfect time to do that. Okay. Now, let's take a look at the date that I've been talking about all year and last year. This is January 23rd of 2023. Okay, so January 23rd. This is Juno and Jupiter conjunct. January 23rd of 2023 is when the planets that I read as divine feminine and masculine, whether you call yourself a soulmate, twin flame, false twin, ascension partner, I don't care what your label is. If you've been activated by love, you are a student of love, and the divine counterparts is how you chart your connection, Juno and Jupiter. Juno and Jupiter are going to come together for their once in every 7-year dance in the sign of Aries, and this is going to start a whole new love and partnership cycle. The last time Juno and Jupiter were together was in the sign, or actually it was in 2015. I believe it was in the sign of Leo. They were together, and you would have felt it mid 2014 all the way through mid 2016, just like we have felt this activating pull in divine connection from the beginning of January 2021 into January 2023. They constitute what I call a 2-year window, union window, when they come together. Okay. So they come together at a peak point in January, but we've all been feeling this pull to start a new cycle in our romantic sector. These two specifically deal with partnerships, committed partnerships. Start a new cycle, do a new thing, knock off your old behaviors, whether it's been, dealing in the world of triangulation without honesty, step into honesty. Whether it's been married to or committed to someone or something you've outgrown, step into honesty about that. Get into alignment with something you can grow with. Whether it's been singing the song of I'm tragically single and love has forgotten my name. This is about doing what you need to do to get back out there and meet some people. You might need to relocate. You might need to, if you don't internet date, internet date. If all you've been doing is internet date, try doing some things in person, meeting some people in the real world, right? I don't know what you've been doing in the world of love that no longer works for you. You know what that is. What this period of time as Juno and Jupiter come together is saying is that season is done. You no longer have to have what you've been getting in that cycle. You can move onto a new timeline, but you are going to have to make some new choices. And this is even more deeply evidenced by the ruler here. So Jupiter and Juno are coming together in the sign of Aries, the sign of the self. The ruler of Aries is this Mars retrograde. Mars is Aries ruler. Mars is retrograding in the sign of the twins, the sign dealing with choice. And so this Mars retrograde is having us go back, look at the choices we've made up until this point, and giving us the opportunity to just do a new thing, get a new thing, be a new thing, so you can have some new things when it comes to love and partnership. Okay. So good stuff. The energy has been here. It's going to continue to be with us all of next year. So there's no timeline or deadline on that. That's imminent. It's just stop doing stuff that doesn't work. that's the general gist of the way that Juno-Jupiter conjunction is coming. Like I said, January is a hot and heavy month. Let's get into the next major thing that I see being a big change in love and money. It's not going to be until March 1st after that. That is when we have what most astrologers would deem the most, where is it? That's 2023. Hang on, I got to go forward in time. I must have written this down wrong. Let me go forward in time because I do not see what I need to see here. March, it must be April. Backing it up, maybe it was February. Let's see. Yes, okay. February 20th. And then let's get me to March 310. There it is. So the beginning of March is when we get Jupiter and Venus conjunct. And when these two come together, Jupiter and Venus, most astrologers consider Jupiter and Venus coming together to be the most romantic day of the year. There it is, March 1st. That's what I thought, March 1st. They consider Jupiter and Venus to be the most romantic day of the year. It's in the astrological world seen that a lot of couples come together during a time period when Jupiter and Venus come together. They come together once a year, but there's other lovely energies as well throughout the year when Jupiter and Venus trine or sextile. But I wanted to just give you what we have coming right out of the gate, the very beginning of the year. This is also a time when those of you who need a raise can ask for a raise and expect to get it. This is also a time where those of you who have been looking for a job might find that favor shines upon you during that time, gives you that opportunity for that new job. For those of you who are launching a business, as we get into March, if you're trying to get favorable visibility on your entrepreneurship, that first week of March is going to be a really good time for that as well. So, loving all of this energy. The last one that I prepared for you gets us basically into the second quarter, and that's going to be April 11th. And that's when we have some really fun stuff. I like seeing Jupiter conjunct the sun. That's a day when astrologers will typically say it's the luckiest day of the year, Jupiter conjunct the sun, because we have Jupiter, which brings luck and money, and the sun, which illuminates that. We also have Uranus conjunct Juno at this particular moment. And I like to see that for those of us who have been looking for relationship change, for anyone wanting to get a divorce, get married, make a proposal, sign contracts with a business partner and business partnership. If you've been trying to, figure out amicable agreements financially in Taurus, where the two of them meet up, this is a time in which that could certainly happen for you. So I hope you wrote these dates down. That last one where Juno and Uranus were conjunct is April 11th. Jupiter conjunct Sun and Juno conjunct Uranus, the hand of the divine. Really great energies there in the world of partnership. Really great energies there in the world of money. The first quarter brings so much good and so much positive energy and love and money. But to bring it home, it all depends on what we do right now. Okay. So I'm going to just refresh my page here because I'm not seeing anything happening in the chat, and I have seen my chat freeze from time to time. And I trust that you guys are probably still chatting with me and my page just froze. So I'm just going to refresh that so I can see what you guys are saying. Who's excited about 2023 now? I'm definitely excited about 2023, but let me know in the chat, are you excited about 2023? Because I definitely am. Hey, Bella May, welcome. Stacy says, I'm taking notes. Good. Hey, Hugs for Humanity. My marriage fell apart in 2015, divorced in 2017. There could be a partner that's destined for you, that it was just on divine schedule. There are definitely, I've seen people getting divorced in this period of 2022 because there's something else scheduled for them as this union window peaks. So that definitely could be a way that this is playing out. I just got chills all over when you said January 23rd. Yeah. There you go. So all of this is like good stuff. I'm really pumped for 2023. I hope you guys are too, because there's so much good going on in 2023. Those are the initial dates that bring us into the year. There's a bit of hard work that we need to do now, but I promise you, if you are just willing to do the work now, this will get easier. There will be blessing if you're willing to make the changes now. The blessings are coming. I promise you there is good in front of us. I want to give you guys an opportunity to join me for Star School, because Star School is open, and Star School is your opportunity to be able to do this, what I just did, do these things, see these things, know these things for yourself. When you jump into Star School, it's your chance to know what's going on in your chart without needing somebody else to chart it for you. And so I have Star School 101, 201, and 301 available. And if you want to get them all, because you just like studying with me, the total cost would actually be $465. That would get you Astro Basics, Twin Flame Astrology for all divine connections, and North Node Mastery. I've spoken a lot about the North Node tonight. We go deep on North Node in 301. But if you're in a place where you're like, okay, 465 is a lot, I've taken $100 off. We're at 369 to get them all in a package. We start this coming Monday. Classes are recorded, so you do not have to worry if you're going to miss them. Everything's recorded, and we have live interaction opportunities so that you can ask questions as you go nearly every week of the program, except for certain holiday weeks. Okay. The Scholar package is 13 weeks long, and I dropped the link in the chat for you. Registration will close next week, so I want you to get in on this before registration closes. And the opportunity for you when you do this that I'm most excited about is that when you sign up, you get lifetime access. So if you sign up now at a time when your life might be busy, might be concerned about the holidays, you can listen whenever and wherever you're ready in the future. You do not have to rush this. With this course, there are 13 45 to 60-minute classes. There are 11 different Q&A sessions sprinkled throughout the course. And then there's also each class, you're going to get workbook pages to fill out to help you deepen your knowledge of the astrology. Okay. Doing this is the best and most cost-effective way for us to work together. If you were to do a 1-hour twin flame reading with me, it's $244. Personal reading, $190. All of these sold separately, $465. And these are just for 1 hour situations, the readings. But if you want all 30 hours with me, you can get it for $369 when you arrive in the enroll in the Scholar program. For the first 100 people to sign up, and there have been a lot of people that have signed up tonight. For the first 100 people to sign up, I'm giving you 2 bonuses. The first bonus I'm giving you for free is my Master Your Chiron Wound workshop. Chiron has been sitting in Aries doing a number on all of us in terms of our self-esteem, self-worth, our identity. This has been the rise of the influencer stage of life these last several years because Chiron's movement in Aries is asking us all to deal with our insecurities, and influencers do a lot of things to both turn those up and help us deal with those. And so Chiron, when it's in light, is leadership. And so individual leadership is Chiron in Aries. But in shadow, it's neediness. It's that I'm not enough. Look at me, validate me, feed me. Chiron in Aries has been showing all of us what it looks like when we have not fed ourselves and healed our own wounds. If you'd like to master your own wound in your chart, this 4.5-hour workshop will detail how you are meant to serve, meant to lead here on Earth through your Chiron placement. We also get the timing of union workshop. I'm going to give that to you for free if you're one of the first 100 people to sign up for the Scholar package. This timing of union workshop is the opportunity for you to be able to chart your connection and know when seasons of personal union between you and your counterpart are going to arrive. That timing of union workshop, I'm giving it free to the first 100 people who sign up for the Scholar package. So in other words, it's this $465 plus $144 worth of value because each of these workshops were $77 each. I'm giving it to you for $369 when you get the Scholar package and you're one of the first 100 people to show up. So the link to the Scholar package is inside the chat. You may not be ready to do the full Scholar package, and that's totally okay. There's the link to it there. I have 2 smaller packages you can do. If you're really focused on love right now, you can jump into the Union package. The Union package gives you Star School 101 and 201, Astro Basics and Twin Flame Astrology. The value of that package is $288, but I'm giving it to you at $250. If you're one of the first 30 people to enroll, I'm also going to gift you the timing of union workshop. So if you know you're really focused on what is union with self, what is union with counterpart, what's unfolding in my connection, we're in separation or we're in union, I need to know how to use these energies so we can stop repeating cycles, move into mission work, ground ourselves in what the love of this connection promises. If that's something you're looking for, then the Star School Union package is for you, and that's $250. You get that timing of union workshop when you're one of the first 30 people to enroll for free. And I'm also going to gift you the Divine Counterpart Union schedule, and that shows you the 7-year pattern of the divine counterparts coming together and in which signs and what that means and when it's happening again and when it's happened before, so that you can know what's coming and understand your seasons as it pertains to the collective energies. I also, for those of you who are like, I'm union with self-focused right now, stop talking to me about my twin flame. I just want to focus on me. I have a life purpose package for you, and that's Star School 101 and Astro Basics. Astro Basics and Star School 301, Star School Life Purpose Mastery or North Node Mastery. That's a 9-week program. And what you get is the opportunity to do 101 and 301 for $321, as opposed to the value is $321, but I'm going to give it to you for $280. So over 20% off there. What you get with this one, if you're one of the first 30 people to sign up, is the Master Your Chiron Wound workshop and the guide to retrograde planets so that you can get deeply into that union with self energy, that clarity about who you are, why you're here on earth, what is going to be the best choice for you during this time. If you want to get on that new timeline, what do you personally need to do based on your life lessons and who you're here to be? This life purpose package is going to clarify that for you for $280. The total value is well above that with the Master Your Chiron Wound workshop thrown in there for free. Okay. Links to all of this is going to be below this video, and the opportunity to buy each package individually will be below this video as well. I'm going to pause here and just take some questions about the astrology and take some questions as well about the packages so that you can give yourself the permission or some time if you have any questions to know if it's right for you. Let me come back to the chat and let's take a look at these charts again. Anyone who's got questions about the energy and where it's headed, you can let me know in the chat now. Let me refresh this page and just hop into my mobile. There we go. I need to clean house, straw and ham sandwich says. I'm so excited. I've been interested in astrology for years, but never took any courses. Have a look. You're invited to join Star School. I think you're going to love it. Manifesting Generator. It is, I have found learning astrology to be the most liberating experience of my life. It's given me so much understanding, so much compassion, not just for myself, but for other people as well. So I'm thrilled to be able to share what I know with you so that you can have that same freedom. Mary Jo says, since the last time we had this union window with Juno and Jupiter conjunct was 2014 to 16, would this next conjunction be similar? It's going to be a little bit different because the vibe is in Aries. So it brings a lot of union with self energy. For some people, this is going to facilitate some sort of meeting of a destined person. Hey, Vivint, welcome. And for other people, this is going to facilitate the closing of a romantic cycle that you've been in and the movement into a new romantic chapter based on lessons you learned in the last 7 years that have evolved who you are. Aries is the sign of the self, the sign of the individual. Okay. Awesome. Angel says, how do I make sure I'm doing the right thing? I've made so many positive changes. I mean, Angel, I would say Star School is probably going to be really good for you to figure out what's the right thing for you. I know you and I have spoken. There's some other things going on in your chart that, you know, would indicate what's right for you. Hugs for Humanity says taking out the papers in the trash. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Kylie, for sharing the links with everyone. I appreciate it. Jane is curious what is happening in reunion. That can certainly happen as we go into this new cycle for some people as well. As long as you're doing new things, that reunion will yield new results. So great questions all the way around. Really love seeing this for you guys. Curious what other questions you guys have, either about this change energy as we close the year, getting on a new timeline in love and or money, Star School questions. The vent says, I need to stop dating, period. You know, a little bit of period of time where it's just you dating you with this union with self energy, the divine counterparts meeting in Aries, the sign of the self. For some people, this is going to kick off a season of seriously embracing and loving who they are personally. Okay. Flower says, I need to start dating. Yep. For some people, it's like, it depends on you, depends on your circumstance, right? You may be in a position where you have been too single for too long, and it's your heart is ready to embrace love again. And so this is your period of time to step into that. I'm really excited. I see these changes as going to be positive for all of us, but it is going to require us kind of walking through the eye of the needle at this moment and being willing to make some changes that we've never made to get some things we've never got. Manifesting generator, I'm so happy you signed up. I'm thrilled to be able to welcome you to Star School. And anyone who's ready to join, I'm thrilled to welcome you guys to Star School. This is going to be an incredible 13 weeks, especially for those of you who are trying to get on a new timeline. These 13 weeks are going to show you, they're going to be some eye openers for you. When people have studied astrology with me, I have heard them share with me, I have gotten a clarity that I've never gotten before about why I am the way I am and why I do what I do. Now that I know this, I can stop operating in my shadow. I can start operating inside of my light. I've seen people say, I've been repeating the same pattern over and over again in relationship. I didn't realize that the reason why I was doing that was because of my wounding. Now that I know what the opposite of that wounding is in terms of my leadership, I'm starting to get different results because I'm making different choices. I've seen people take the classes and then come to recognize and have clarity that, okay, it's time, it's been time, I'm overdue in terms of time when it comes to operating my purpose in the world. I've been at this job for too long, and because I've kept holding on to it and I've clung to it, this is why nothing in my life is working. I was supposed to quit this job 4 or 5 years ago. Now I'm ready to make the change, and I can see why I need to make it in my chart. So all of this is available when these kind of insights and realizations that give you more control over your circumstance are available when you enroll in Star School. The Scholar Package gives you 101, 201, and 301 if you want that total life mastery. But if you're just really focused on your twin connection and understanding, let's say you're new to the journey or you're deepening the journey at this time, the union package is more than what you need to understand your seasons of separation, growth, and change, to understand your seasons of coming home to not just yourself, but the connection, surrendering to the connection, understanding your person so that you can stop pathologizing them. I frequently find people say, what's wrong with them? Why don't they communicate? Why don't they open up? And I have to tell them, look at this person's chart. Look at the way their communication factors are set up. They're set up to show and demonstrate love through their actions, not their words. When they finally get that, they can get into a place of acceptance, surrender, allowing, and deeper connection. And that's what you get when you get in the union bundle. You get that kind of clarity. And if you're like, I just need that kind of clarity about me, then that life purpose bundle is what you're looking for, that life purpose package. Because that's when we start to really unlock, okay, what are my repeating patterns? What am I here to learn? How do I start getting the best at life instead of the worst if things have been difficult? And those packages are there in the chat for you. Okay. Cool. Kylie says new technologies and advances. Yes. All of that with Pluto moving into Aquarius. Manifesting generator has Chiron and Aries in the 6th house. Lots of health changes and growth. France applied for Star School. Good. And just so you're clear, the scholarships for Star School for people on my channel, you needed to be on my private list. I have given those out already. I've made the announcement. If you want one more chance to win, go sign up for Lee and Sherry at Relationship Reinvented. Go sign up for their channel. I'm going to be with them tomorrow night. Go sign up at ASO Tarot. I'm going to be with Madison tomorrow night. I'm going to give subscribers on their channel an opportunity to win Star School. But if you know you want to be one of the first 100 on the scholar package to get that timing of union workshop and master your Chiron wound workshop, then you just want to go ahead and sign up now because those spots are going to sell out quickly. And I'm super pumped to be able to do and share all of this with you guys because honestly, learning astrology completely changed my life. There was a time in my life where I was an astrological bottom feeder. And by bottom feeder, I mean I was getting the worst of every transit. With every Pluto transit, I wasn't feeling empowered. I was feeling fearful. With every Venus retrograde planet transit, somebody broke up with me. With every Mars retrograde transit, I lost all of my energy and I would get so depleted that I would get sick. With every Mercury retrograde transit, I would get something breaking down in the world of communication or technology. That's astrological bottom feeding. If you're getting the worst of things, it's because there's something you're not doing in terms of operating in your own light to get the best of things. And I designed Star School so that you can understand how to get the very best of things for you. Okay. So, yep, if you want to sign up, get those packages that have the free gifts in them. That's going to be for the first 30 people on the Union and Life Purpose package, and for the first 100 people to get everything in the Scholar package. I recommend you do that because those spots are going to go real quick. Donna Jean says, my DM is a Sag Sun and Ascendant, has an unaspected Mercury, which rules the 7th house. He has much difficulty with verbal communication unless he's angry. Yeah. Lee and Sherry are amazing, Stacy. I agree. Manifesting generator. Who's got astrological questions? Who's got questions about 2023 or any channeled guidance that I've provided? Who's got questions about astrology? Flower says she's got COVID, had COVID 4 times. My goodness, girl. I'm sorry to hear that. Looking at the chart helps so much. So even if the words aren't there, I agree. I agree. Hang in there, Flower. Got to repair that immune system for sure. Stacy says, I found you because of Allie. I found Lee and Sherry because of you. And I'm so grateful for all of you. Thank you. Yes. Yes, I love it. So we're going to enter into Q&A. And I'm just curious who has a question about Star School or about the astrology eclipses, Mars retro, or 2023. If you've got questions, now's the time to pick my brain. I'd be more than happy to answer those questions for you guys. Cat Bond love dates, me sign next year. I don't know what those two mean. You explain things so well. I have no questions, Stacy says. Oh, thank you for saying that. It's very generous. I'm glad that I was able to explain things well. I mean, you guys just like kicking it with me. That's also cool. Let's try this again because my chat froze and I want to go ahead and open a Q&A for you guys. Start a Q&A. Huh. I wonder what's the deal with YouTube. It's freezing on me. Devin says, I'm definitely here for the kicking it. I know. I love that you love to kick it with me. Thank you. There we go. Let's try this again. What's your cue about Star School, Mars Retro, the eclipses or 2023. All right, cool. Mystic Soul says my twin has 2 yods and a grand cross and a grand trine and a kite. Does that mean lots of huge lessons? It means he's walking a tightrope in this lifetime where he's got a very specific thing that he's here to do. I wonder when my MC Escher experience will level out. Uranus or Neptune must be talking to your Mercury with that. I would say it'll probably level out when those two move off of your Mercury or the ruler of your 3rd house. What effect does Venus and Jupiter trine cause? Yeah, that's a good question. Venus and Jupiter, when they come together in the trine, were they just trine yesterday? Let me look. Jupiter is here and Venus is here. Yeah, they were trine. They're just now trine. That's love and money, baby. That's good love and good money. That's emotional fulfillment. That is bringing luck to love and money. When they're trying, they bring the best of one another out. Jupiter expands whatever he touches. Venus is magnetism and love. So all the good things. Okay. Anything coming through channeling about me? Homesick. I don't have any individual channeled messages tonight. I'm so sorry. Let me just see. Karari Toji. There's been a lot of aggression and tension in the family. Do the transits suggest it's going to lighten up, or does that depend on the individual? Both. The transits do suggest it's going to lighten up as soon as these planets get out of Scorpio. And once we settle into this Mars retrograde and people start taking more accountability for what they need to change. One of the challenges with this energy, I love this question, Carrie Toji. One of the challenges is that there can be a lot of projection in this energy, a lot of kind of like, it's not, the problem isn't me, it's you. And I need you to do a new thing so that I can feel better. When the reality is everything we're looking outwardly about and feeling dissatisfaction with another person's inability to commit, another person's anger issues, another person's problems with follow through, another person's issues with overthinking. Anything we're annoyed about when it comes to other humans, this stuff is within us too. And so I'm letting you know this because what I want you to see here is that the reality is that you can have a different experience. It does not have to be what it has been. Not only that, but it's going to require you to take some accountability and choices in the actions. Mars retrograde energy certainly shakes things up when Mars stations, and it just stationed last week, Calorie Toji. And so there would have been Mars flare-ups of shadow energy, projection, aggression, anger, those kinds of things where people are projecting because remember how we started this broadcast? Everyone is in this crucible right now that is demanding that we change, demanding that we transform, demanding that we do a new thing. If you can, in this period of time, take a look at what's annoying you outwardly and see how that is actually a thing that's inside of you right now, because Gemini represents the mirrors where this Mars is retrograding. If you can take a look at it as a mirror and be accountable for what you are bringing forward in that energy and make the change, I guarantee you, as above, so below, as within, so without. You change it on the inside, your outside has no choice but to reflect that change. Fantastic question, Kaori Toji. I'm so glad you asked. So it's not to say that you might be the angry person. And even as Allison said earlier, other people around her are angry, but she's fine. What you're looking at and witnessing is the way people deal with things they don't like within themselves. Projection. So as we're walking into, those of you who are here in the United States, you know, the Thanksgiving experience, for those of you who stand in light and love and mastery, encounters with families and friends over the holiday week, remember that people are going to be a bit sensitive because there are things within them that are coming up. The universe is saying, deal with this. Stop acting X, Y, or Z way. Come into a new way of being. And if they don't like that message, if they're attached to the way things have been and they don't like change, you will find a lot of people project. Just be mindful of that and know that it's not you. Okay. Brooklyn asks more information on Pluto retrograde and Venus retrograde, also how will affect twins. You know, Pluto is in retrograde, and that energy can bring itself when Pluto retrogrades into, this is the thing about the coming Pluto retrograde, is that it's going to retrograde. It's finished one. It's going to go into Aquarius now. Then it's going to go back into Capricorn. And that's Pluto, this purple guy right here. Pluto represents power. And so this is going to be a process of power struggle between the old institutions, structures of our lives, and the new. Aquarius represents new tech, new behaviors, new beginnings, revolution, change, and the people. Between authority and the people, between what we're wanting to evolve into and what we used to be. That retrograde process is going to have us go a little bit back and forth on the new and the old next year as we make these changes. Okay. Venus retrograde, we had one at the beginning of this year. We won't have another one anytime soon. It'll happen next year, but much later. The Venus retrograde process gives us an opportunity to review from a spiritual perspective where we've been spending time and energy with money and love. The seventh house being empty is not a problem, Bella May, and you'll learn all about that in Star School 101. In Star School 101, and if you're one of the people who just wants 101 and you're listening to this replay, you're gonna find a link to 101 below this video if you only want 101. I'm gonna put a link to 101 here in the chat, so anyone who's watching the live chat replay, you can just sign up for 101 if you want. There are no bonuses, no savings, no discount, but 101 is available for you at $144 USD. That's the cheapest anything that you can do with me is this 101 class, but it's also going to be the most impactful. If you're on a budget, you're trying to save money, get Astro Basics, because in Astro Basics, we cover what does it mean to have an empty house? What does it mean when the planets talk to one another in certain ways? What's a square? What's a conjunction? What's a trine? And how do those planets impact one another between my chart and another person's chart? If you want to fill out the workbook information for someone you love, 101 is a great way to get to know your divine counterpart, your child, your parents. Filling this information out will help you understand who they are better and yourself. And that's all available in 101. The empty house means nothing. And the way we read astrology, what we have going on here, and some people might disagree with me, but let me go ahead and come back to this chart. And let's just say this was a person's chart. For example, we see house 10 has no planetary energies in it. In astrology and in Star School 101, we talk about that there are 3 different things going on. There are houses, there are signs, and then there are planets. When you have what the houses represent are areas of our life. What the planets represent are aspects of our personality. In order to get the best out of an area of our life, it's not the planet that dictates that, it's the sign on the edges of the house. It's these signs out here that tell us what's going to go down in that house and how do we get the best out of the house. And we deep dive into that specific information inside of Star School 101. And I just placed the link for 101 in the chat if you want to do 101 only. Okay. Homesick says, I've got to be decisive. Indecision drives me nuts. Me too. And this Gemini retrograde energy is like indecisiveness on steroids for some of us. Bella May says, I'm just single and thought it might be key. With signs on the edge of your house are what's key. And because if you're single and trying to figure out love, I recommend the union package for you. If there's somebody in your mind or people you've had significant experiences with in your life, or just Star School 101, it'll help you understand why you're single, what's going on in this season of your life, and what you need to do in order to not be single anymore. It'll also help you learn when seasons of being with someone are likely to come up. And that's all covered just in 101 alone. So if you're like on a budget, like I said, and you're just like, I want this information, but I can't do a whole package, 144 USD, Star School 101 will get you what you need. Okay. The vent says, oh, because like what the F, looking at some people's choices, I totally get it. Stacy says, my partner is in Aries and has been on a low vibration. Any suggestions on how to help without losing a hand? Her North Node is in Gemini. I got to say, Aries is one of the hardest signs to help. Both of the Martian ruled signs, Aries and Scorpio, be careful how you choose to help those people, because you can lose a hand trying to help those people. Even God stands back like, okay, I see. If I want to bless you, I'm going to have to shove this blessing down your throat because you just won't receive it. Aries and Scorpio, the Martian rules signs, the outward projecting signs, they struggle with receiving because they're governed by giving, the outward projected motion of Mars. And you can even see it in the way Mars is set up. You see, Mars has this circle with an arrow. The Mars ruled signs like to move in outward projected motion. They don't receive with ease. They have to work hard to try and receive. And so the best thing you could do with a Martian ruled person, if you know that they're struggling, is you can say, listen, I want you to know I'm here for you. I'm not going anywhere. I want to be whatever you need in this moment. I just need you to tell me, even if it's just an ear. I'm not a mind reader. I just need you to tell me what you need. I'm going to follow up with you in X amount of time. Don't let it be tomorrow. Mars ruled people can't stand to be smothered. I'll follow up. I'll check in a couple of weeks or in a month with the same message. If you don't have anything, that's okay. I just want you to know you're not alone. I've got your back. That'll go a long way for a Martian ruled person. You don't need to jump in. You don't need to do anything. You just need to let them know you're there. More than anything, Martian ruled people just want comrades in arms. They just want somebody walking beside them. They just want to know that they're not alone more than anything. They want to do it themselves, but they don't want to necessarily be alone. And so doing it for them, not going to help. Letting them know you're there, 100% loyalty building with a Martian ruled person. But I don't know. I think we have some Scorpios in the chat who are also Martian ruled, some other Aries in the chat. You guys tell us, Stacy, or tell Stacy, am I right? Like, did I nail it? Is this how it is for the Martian ruled people? Manifesting generator says, I need to learn about crosses. I have a few in my natal chart. Manifesting generator, those are aspects of tension that are bringing you into a tightrope kind of energy. And that tightrope energy gives you the opportunity to, on the one hand, it gives you a hard time if you're straying off course. And on the other hand, it guarantees your success. Because you cannot go too far off course when you've got a grand cross. Many successful entrepreneurs have a lot of grand crosses in their chart, especially on the cardinal axis. Let's see. The event says, I told Mad Aries to choose peace in the last 2 weeks. I have chosen peace as well. Good for you. Kelly Marie says, how does Chiron in retrograde in birth charts show up? It's a great question. I haven't talked about Chiron retrograde much. It can make it more difficult to access the leadership energy within Chiron and really see the wound energy that you're working with. It can make it more difficult to really transcend the wound because it can be hard to see the wound. It can also, in some people's cases, means that they step straight into the leadership energy without any of the wounded energy. It just depends on the person and how the rest of their chart is set up. Bella May's got a Gemini Venus. Strawn Ham Sandwich says, yes, like people's dark side just popped up out of no. Mars retrograde. Yeah, just people are projecting a lot right now, and there's nothing to be done but just be in the witnessing with as much compassion as you can. Be in the witnessing with as much compassion as you can around, okay, there's something in you that you're not liking and you're projecting that outward. Know that it is not about you. If people are wilding out in your comments, if you happen to have a social media platform, if people are wilding out in your email or in your DMs, in your personal relationships, it is not you. People have their own stuff up and their own pressure that they're facing at this time that's demanding that they change. And all we're witnessing is what people do when they are forced to change. Some people are resisting it really hard. Spot on with the projection and anger. Yeah, I'm glad I could validate that experience for you and let you know, yeah, that's it. Pray for healthy change, Carrie Toji. One thing I have found can also work is when people are in that space, you can also tell them after they've calmed down, I know that's not you. I've never seen you lash out like that or express yourself in that way. It felt like lashing out. It was difficult to witness. I know that's not you or who you want to be. I'd love to talk about it when you're ready. And I'm also like, just know that, you know, if you need to set a boundary, then insert boundary here. Boundary sounds like whatever is going on for you, talking to me like that does not work for me. I'll be here when you're ready to talk about things in a more calm manner. But between now and then, it might be best if we take a little bit of a break. You can insert that boundary. Or you could, if it wasn't toward you, directed at you, you could say, no, that's not you. I've never seen you express yourself in that way. I can see you're very upset. I'd love to be a support to you when you're ready to talk about it. Or if you want an ear, just let me know. You can go that direction as well. Okay. Many people are we're all, let me put it another way. I'll say many, all of us in this energy are being extraordinarily confronted with things about ourselves we need to change. And if we don't have the tools, the access point, or the willingness, projection is a very common human behavior to cope with feeling helpless or powerless. And that's what's really coming up for a lot of people with Mars retrograde, because Mars really represents that forward movement, that ambition. And Mars is, instead of moving outward, it's moving inwards and asking us to change what's within before we get a change on the outside. Okay. So just know it's not you guys. You guys are getting this information so you can stand in light, stand in love, stand in mastery. No, it's not you, but where you've got your stuff looking at you in the face and saying, baby girl, baby boy, you got to change this. You can't keep living like this. Take the time you need to withdraw from people and make the changes necessary so you don't become one of these lashing out humans. Straw and ham sandwich. My mother doesn't listen to anyone, including the universe. Kelly says, I'm curious about the Juno meeting up with North Node and Uranus and Taurus. And will those themes be similar for Jupiter as well? Great question. I don't see questions in a question. I don't understand how this YouTube feature works. I guess they haven't fully rolled it out. YouTube needs to come on and roll out some features more fully before launching them. Okay. Let's see. Okay, Kelly, there's a few different things going on, and I have talked about this in different union window updates and throughout the lunar updates of this year, but I need to put out kind of a 2023 update. But that's such a beautiful question. Here's what I got for that. Here's what my guides have been showing me. Uranus, hand of divine change. Here's hand of divine, revolution and change. North node, the direction of growth and learning. Taurus, nurturing, love, money, third dimensional structures. Divine counterparts, meeting up in Aries, the sign of the individual, the sign of the self. What my guide started showing me as early as 2020 is that as we move into these years between now and 2024, there are some people whose counterpart or themselves have so given up on the divine counterpart journey that they will actually be, I don't want to say deactivated, paired with another person who's more capable of doing the love dance with them. That some of the bonds, they showed this to me as like a DNA splitting, like the way the double helix splits. And like some of the helix will go off and connect with somebody different. So for some twins, they may have the experience, not all, some of a new divine counterpart arriving. Other people are going to find that they move into a period of union. Other people are going to find that they move into a period of separation. Other people are going to find that they get activated and start the recognition during this period of time that they actually are on a divine counterpart journey. This will be the first time they're hearing of it, aware of it, all the feelings that go with it. There will be an activation. Uranus, the way Uranus is meeting up with Jupiter and the North Node. They're all going to meet up here in Taurus. Uranus and the North Node and Juno will all meet up here in Taurus. Uranus, the North Node, and Mars will meet up here in Taurus. And Venus will meet up here in Taurus. Each one is going to take a turn last year and this year for a meetup. Mars and Venus, in the way that I read, and I cover this in Star School 201. In the way that I read, Mars and Venus represent the human soulmates, as opposed to the divine counterparts. And if you want to, kind of really get into the way I look at this stuff, get the Star School Union bundle or Union package. I just pasted that in the chat. With the soulmates meeting the divine with the North Node, there are going to be some people who will get activated and initiated into divine counterpartship, for whom that was not on their life plan, not on their life path, but they are called into service because of the way things are going here on Earth. They are needed at this time. The codes, the energy, the vibration and the frequency for moving from being a soulmate type of person into a twin type of person for someone else is going to come online this year, next year for some people. For others, this is going to be a dramatic transformation in the way your current connection has been unfolding. And this is why I've been so, preachy in my last twin flame lunar update. If your heart's still in it, you're not done. There's something that you need to be looking at and understanding. There's something, if your heart's still in it, there's a lesson in this for you. There's a deeper layer of shedding of conditions around loving. This is all preparation. There's going to be a lot of surprises for a lot of people. Uranus represents surprise when it comes to love in 2023? Beautiful question, Kelly. Thanks for letting me share that information. Donna Jean, transit Chiron will oppose my moon next year. It doesn't sound fun. Nope, that doesn't. It will square twins moon since our natal moons are tightly square. Got it. Yeah, it'll bring in some mirroring energy for you guys. Speaking of, Kat's next comment talks about mirroring. Mirroring has been totally enlightening with my twin. I do see where she could have gotten the impression she did, even though I wasn't intending to invalidate her. There you go. I have been having physically sit and bite my tongue at times. Bella, smart move. Smart move in this energy. Okay. Question, Hope, Love, and Sunshine asks, how long do Juno and Jupiter stay conjunct for? How fast do they move? When they conjunct, the vibration and frequency can be felt for a whole year prior and a whole year after. It waxes and wanes. So we've got the build that's already begun as they peak here. And this build began in January of 2022. And then it begins to wane as we get closer and closer to January of 2024. Okay. So they'll only sit together for about a month in the same sign, but the vibration, the activation of that energy draws twins together, divine counterparts together for a whole year prior and a whole year after. Cultivates that union energy, whole year prior, whole year after. Okay. Jane Elizabeth, I answer that question on all of my Star School pages. I use the tropical house system tropical astrology and Placidus house system. If you really like, if you're a total student of astrology like I am, and astrology is just your jam, you like deep diving on it, get the scholar package. I highly, highly, highly recommend playing with me in Star School 101, 201, and 301. If you really like hearing the way I look at the stars and getting that deeper dive information, that scholar package that I just linked in the chat there is going to help you really understand and add to your astrological toolbox the way that I work with things so that you have those tools at your fingertips. Okay. Let's see. You're welcome, Brooklyn. Thank you for the great question. Twin and I both have our suns in the first house, conjunct ascendants, also empty seventh houses. I interpret that as working on ourselves in this lifetime. Many people with empty seventh houses have have long-lasting, beautiful romantic partnerships. Be careful what you believe, and this is why I try so hard to provide you guys with a liberating perspective on this stuff. There is no person that's like destined to be single or destined to do this or that. We get free will with this stuff. Just because no aspect of your personality, meaning planets, aren't in your seventh house, doesn't mean that you don't get love. This example chart has no planets, meaning aspects of personality, in the 10th house, but this is very much some people's charts. No aspects of personality in the 10th house of career. Does that mean they don't get a job in this lifetime? Heck no. Some of these people are very successful. What dictates how the house performs isn't what's in the house, it's the sign on the edge of the house. And it's very important that you have that distinction. We go deep into that in Star School 101. Okay. Bella May, you're the best, Miss K. Thank you. You are welcome. She got an insight there. You're welcome. Loving Life says work, looking for the ideal time to change jobs. Do you see when that might line up well? For the only way I could see if that would line up well is going to be looking at your chart personally. I'd need to look at some different factors, like the ruler of your 10th house and where that sits, etc., and the ruler of your second house and what's going on in some of the other places. I can do that in a private reading, but the best thing that you can do and the way you can get that question answered would be to join Star School 101. It's $144 USD. Astro Basics will allow you to answer that question for yourself now and always. Okay. Donna asked, does it matter how our Junos aspect our partner's Jupiters? Yes and no. I get into what that can mean in Star School 201. I recommend, because Star School 201 is difficult to understand on its own. I recommend the Union package if you want to dive deep on twin flame astrology, understanding Jupiter and Juno in transit and natal aspects. I recommend the union package because that's going to help you understand the way these things work and why they work the way they work. Because aspects of tension, yeah, can create separation, but there are other mitigating factors, and I detail those in Star School 201. Aspects of ease, yeah, can create union, but not in every circumstance because there are other mitigating factors. I detail those in Star School 201. Okay. So yeah, it matters, but it's not the only thing that matters. The vent doesn't want to work hard. You're welcome, Stacy. Homesick says, I'm a Libra sun and rising, Scorpio moon, Mercury and Venus. I've been thoroughly spanked by the universe, so I'm ready to learn and change. Very good. The vent, who wants no limit soldiers? My Venus is in Scorpio. Does that mean I have the same stubbornness as Martians? Not exactly, no. Could you please give the link for the union package again? I did that. My masculine is terrified of codependency, very sad struggle. He's a Capricorn and I'm an Aquarius. Thank you. I understand that, Jane. A lot of people don't want to have that, but this is a great time for healing our fears. How do we know which planet rules us? I cover ruling planets and planet rulerships in Star School 101 deeply. Like I thoroughly get into that because I work through planetary rulerships when I read, which is if what you have found on the channel or in private reading with me resonates for you in terms of accuracy, in terms of timing and unfoldment, it's because I predominantly work with planetary rulerships. And each planet has a planet that rules it. Each house has a sign that governs it, and each sign is governed by a planet. I have a full guide, like 3-page guide at the beginning of Star School 101. It's the first thing you get when you enroll is that 3-page guide that says this planet is connected with this sign and has these influences, and this is the ruler of that sign. So if you want to know your sun ruling sign, your chart ruling sign, ruling planets, get Star School 101. I go into that in detail. Or any of the Star School packages, really, you get that information in Star School 101. And I'll just drop that link for 101 in the chat again for you. Here we go. Okay. Scorpio, sun and rising, you're spot on. Hilarious, so true. Saturn and Scorp. My Venus is in Scorp. Haha, that makes sense now. What do you think of yods? They require a bit of work to get the benefit out of them, but there's real blessing in them if you can do the work. That's what I think of yods. The vent has a Neptunian situationship, was with an Aries, and it was like I unlocked a new level in him by just telling him straight up what I need, but very sweet and calmly. He's never had that kind of communication. Yeah. Hey, Pickle Rickle, I shared those dates earlier in this broadcast. You can scroll back to grab those. I shared them about 20 minutes ago. How can you effectively describe what a projection is to somebody else? Kat, I don't know that you can. To tell someone that they're projecting is just going to cause them to be more defensive because being projecting is a defense mechanism to begin with. So you tell someone, hey, you're being defensive when they're already in a vulnerable position and trying to defend themselves, just makes them want to be more defensive. I don't know that that's really the move, but I would ask a good therapist or a good coach about that. The Vent's been studying significantly in the personal development school. The Vent, what do you say about telling people that they're being projected? Put that in the chat for us. This lady wanted to fight me in the movies and I ignored her. Stacy says somebody's been needy and standoffish to push and pull. Sky Poet says, Eclipse in Scorpio, my 10th house of career. I've been applying for jobs. Nothing yet. Guess I have to wait for divine timing, Aquarius. Yeah, I would say Sky Poet, if you've got a 10th house Scorpio, let me just take a quick look. There have been a lot of significant changes to your personhood, and you're ending a season when it comes to a particular career path. There may be something that has to do with moving into a brand new season, but I'd have to see your whole chart to know in terms of career. Flower's dad is acting out. Oh no. Flower, if you do 101, you can fill out the workbook for your dad and you would better understand what's going on for him. When do the nodes change again? They change in the spring of next year. We begin late summer or midsummer, we begin the Aries Libra eclipse cycle as the nodes move into Aries and Libra. Karyotoji was able to talk to family. Good. Some people are willingly and knowingly participating in their trauma cycles because it's comfortable for them. And I'd be like, okay, let me let you finish. Exactly. Mary Jo went into hermit mode. I totally get it. Kylie's jumping rope. The vent says Earthlings are wildin'. I agree. Hug says Ashe. The vent likes the preachy. When you mentioned I had other things going on in my chart, well, I understand that from the Star School Union. I can't remember what the question was. I would say it's likely. There's mitigating factors to everything. There's nothing that's kind of like one way or guaranteed. I would say if your question was about relationship stuff, then the union package is what you want for sure, Angel. If your question was about work stuff, then I would say the life purpose package is what you want. Okay. Looking for more questions. So yes, let's see. Is it common for twins to have the same north node? Chelsea, that's a great question. I wouldn't say it's common for them to have the same north node. I would say it's common for them to have some sort of north node connection. So one of their planets speaks to the other person's north node or some type of like nodal square, nodal opposition, that kind of thing. It's very common for that to happen in divine connections. Fiorella asked numbers and symbols on the outside of the circle. I get into that in Star School 101 extensively, but each, it's in particular, I think in the first or second class, each house is made up of degrees. Each sign has 30 degrees in it. And this just lets us know what degree we're dealing with when we're talking about each of the planetary placements. So for example, we see a 7 here next to Capricorn on the cusp of the 7th house. That 7 lets us know that the 3rd house here begins at the 7th degree of Capricorn. And that's what that lets us know. The numbers next to the planets let us know what degree each planet is sitting at when it comes to that sign. And there's even branches of astrology that go so far and so deep as to let you know that each degree has its own meaning. And so when you have a certain planet sitting at a certain degree, you get certain outcomes in your life. I don't practice degree level astrology, but some people do. And it's just important to know what it lets us know is how to locate things in a chart. It lets us know where things are and how close together they are. Do they impact or influence one another? Okay. Let's see what the other questions are. Hugs. I haven't seen the Star of David. From what I've heard, it acts like a portal for some people. I don't know enough about that. I could study astrology my whole life, my astrology teacher said, and still not know everything. And she went to university for astrology and she's been practicing for decades, at least 2 decades so far. And so when she said that, I was like, okay, I don't have to know everything. And neither do you in order to effectively understand what's happening in your chart. You just need to know some basics. Let's see what the other questions are in here. Malia has changed career path. She's ready for new. That's a nice way to put projection, the vent. Kat, check out what the vent wrote about projection. That's a really, really great way to bring it up. We're getting to the end of questions here. Straw and ham sandwich. Does that degree level astrology have a specific name? You can just look up astrological degrees, and there's tons of information on the internet about every single degree on the wheel. Like all 30 degrees of Gemini, all 30 degrees of Cancer, all 30 degrees of each sign. There's websites that detail the meaning of every single degree, and there's books on it. So you can just look up degrees in astrology and you'll find teachers who go in that direction. My direction and specialty has been about divine counterpartships and activations by love. So I tend to stay a bit more in my own lane in that way. You mentioned stepping straight into leadership with retrograde Chiron. Is that covered in the Chiron class? No, Candy, great question. So the Chiron class, for those of you who are just joining, is offered as a bonus. The How to Heal Your Chiron workshop is offered as a bonus when you enroll into the Star School Scholar package or the Star School Life Purpose package. In that life purpose package and in that scholar package, if you're one of the first 100 people to enroll in Scholar, and that's the program that includes everything 101, 201, 301, Astro Basics, Twin Flame Astrology, North Node Mastery. You get it for $369, but then I'm giving you also for free, I'm giving you the $77 How to Heal Your Chiron Wound workshop and the $77 Timing of Union workshop as well. When you're one of the first 100 people to sign up for Star School Scholar, you do get that workshop. I do not cover retrogrades of Chiron. I cover how to heal your Chiron so you can move into leadership with Chiron. Most people, even with a Chiron retrograde in their natal chart, still experience some level of wounding, even if it's hidden below the surface. And so I dive deep on how to identify getting out of wounding and into leadership. If you want that Chiron class, you can also sign up for the Life Purpose package, which is here. The Life Purpose package will get you Star School 101, which is all about the Astro Basics, and then Star School 301, where we take a deep dive on your North Node. Star School 301, the two packages put together, 144 and 177, total 321, but I'm giving it to you at 280, and the first 30 people to sign up for the Life Purpose package get the Chiron Wound, How to Heal Your Chiron Wound workshop for free. But there's been a lot of those spots that have been selling out since I've been live the last few hours. I highly recommend, if this is something you want to do, that you do it tonight. Do not wait. Do it tomorrow. Do not wait. If you have been wanting to get your hands on these bonuses, you want to save as much money as possible, do one of these packages, sign up in the next 24 to 48 hours. It is going to guarantee that you have the ability to get the most out of Star School. And with that, beloveds, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here. I'm super pumped that I've had the opportunity to share Star School with you this evening, not just Star School, but also the preview of 2023. 2023 is going to be an exciting time with lots of change, growth, and transformation for all of us. And this last little stretch of 2022 is what's going to help us understand what we need to do to get the most out of 2023. Like I said, I used to be an astrological bottom feeder until I understood astrology. Everything in my life had to be the hard way until I could see, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Got it. You no need to hit me, universe. I don't need the stick. I know what the stick looks like. Give me the carrot. I'm more motivated by doing the right thing at the right time than waiting and procrastinating when I can't figure out what the answer is. And in particular, it was learning my North Node and South Node that really transformed things for me, which is why I'm so excited to offer you guys Star School 301, North Node Mastery, available in the Life Purpose package and available in Star School Scholar. North Node Mastery is where you're going to figure out and finally learn how to break free of repeating cycles in your life. This is probably my favorite course and the most powerful information I can give you so that you no longer have to keep repeating cycles of pain or shame or regret or guilt or the same problem showing up again on a different day. I strongly recommend the Life Purpose package or Star School Scholar so you can get access to 301. It is going to change your life. I promise you. Okay, that's what I got. Thank you guys for hanging out. For everyone who asked questions, your questions were brilliant. Thank you so much for asking such smart, intuitive, intelligent questions on this live broadcast. And thank you for everyone who has signed up for my private list so that you can learn more. And for everyone who signed up for Star School tonight, I cannot wait to see you guys in Office Hours 1, where we're going to get the opportunity to answer questions and talk deeply about astrology together. That last week of November is when we get Office Hours 1. The first class of Star School drops this coming Monday. The classes are pre-recorded, so you will have the opportunity to listen at your leisure and then attend office hours to ask your questions. Super pumped. Thank you guys so much. It was a treat to work with you. Registration closes next Wednesday. Don't wait. Get your classes now. All right, everyone, take great care.